Good afternoon. How's it going, all you workaholics? How's everybody doing today? They're changing up a little bit. We're gonna be taking a look at King's Fall is finally here in Destiny 2. The newest raid added to the game. It's from D1, but still good, great raid, fun raid to give a try if you haven't done it already. What we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna be taking a look at the best loadout and the best kind of classes, subclasses you're gonna want to take into each and every encounter. So go ahead, get your popcorn ready, get you something to drink, and enjoy the video. Alright guys, so the first encounter you're gonna come across is basically there's no boss or nothing. You're gonna be taking you're gonna be going across to you're gonna separate your teams into different areas. You're gonna be going across, getting the little glass balls and dunking them into the pillars, just like in the original raid. This part's pretty easy. It's not too bad. You can kind of pretty much have any kind of range of gun that you want to use. Nothing really specific is going to help you too here. There's definitely going to be a lot of ads and stuff to clear, but I mean, you can run an SMG, you can run a shotgun, you can run a hand cannon. Basically, this first encounter, you can pretty much have fun with and run wherever you want. You're going to notice a common trend here: solar, solar, solar. Solar Titans are great for this raid with their little mini hammers. Hunters can have a little bit of play. I mean, solar if you want to do golden gun damage. Arc if you want to do, wet arc staff and clear out some ads. But I would say probably your best bet's still going to be tether. Hunters are always good with tether. Tether you can't ever go wrong with in PvE. So I would definitely go that route. But like I said, this first encounter where you're just kind of clearing some ads and dunking those shadow balls into the pillars. Basically, you can use whatever you want. Kind of have fun with it. Obviously, I wouldn't run glaive or nothing like that, but I would, you could probably run a shoddy here or even a pulse, or take a look at the weapon artifact. I mean, it's scout and bow, so you could even run a bow and a scout rifle. So the first encounter, you're gonna run into the war priest. So what I would suggest trying out for the war priest, obviously Titans, you're gonna be using still solar. I would go with solar class, your solar subclass. You're gonna want your little mini hammer, this little guy over here. This little guy, you're gonna be using this all the time. It's really good against shielded bosses, and yeah, it's gonna work against like your ogres, your knights, your wizards. That's gonna pretty much take out their whole shield, especially if you're not in contest mode or you're just doing it in normal mode. That's gonna take out the whole shield, and then you can basically clear them out with your next weapon. So for this encounter, I would highly suggest for your heavy going to Thunderlord, because there is going to be a ungodly amount of ads. There's ads everywhere, big ads, small ads. Thunderlord is the king of the king of using, or the king of clearing ads, and also it has overload champions. There is an overload ogre, so be on the lookout for that. But yes, this is definitely going to be probably your best heavy for that. When you're clearing off the plates and everything like that, Thunderlord's going to be king for getting rid of big rounds of enemies with the, with its perk and everything. With its lightning rounds, weapons fire faster, can you generate stunning lightning strikes. So basically this right here is what you're going to be. I don't have the catalyst. If you guys have the catalyst, obviously use the catalyst, but I didn't really use a whole lot of Thunderlord wasn't that great. I just got a buff and changed its basically usage around. So Thunderlord's going to be really good for your heavy slot, and it's going to be your exotic too. Now if you don't want to use Thunderlord and you don't want to use an exotic, linear fusion rifles are your king of damage right now. So any kind of linear fusion that you have, I have Cataclysm, whatever you guys have. Sleeper's also going to be very good. Like I said, if you don't want to use an exotic, I understand. I would throw on your best linear fusion. Energy weapon. So for energy weapon, if you're not going to run an exotic here, I would say your best energy weapon to run here is going to be Sunshot. Sunshot's going to be very good for clearing ads once again with its explosive rounds. So I would highly suggest in this round running Sunshot. If not, maybe a pulse, or maybe even a bow. I don't know if I'd really do a bow though, because there's so many ads here, so I don't think I'd do a bow. You could try Lawrence too, if you want to go there and run like a double linear fusions. I mean, you're going to be doing all boss damage. You're not going to have the best ad clearing, so I don't know if I'd do that, but that's definitely going to be good for boss damage. But if I were you in this slot, if you're not going to run Thunderlord and you want to run a linear fusion, I would go Sunshot here. And then for your primary, it's pretty open, guys. You could run an SMG. I would try to find something that's got a bigger clip. Actually, you know what? Your probably best bet's running a scout. Use your best scout rifle that you got, your best roll, because like I said, once again, it's going to line up with the artifact. After that, you got your second encounter, which is Golgoroth. Golgoroth is, guys, if you have not done King's Fall, Golgoroth is one of the best raid encounters to this date. It's so much fun. It's the mechanics on it's fun, and it's just a fun encounter to do. So for Golgoroth, I would not probably run Thunderlord for that unless you want to. It's like I said, it's gonna be good for running ads, but I would probably go with a linear. I'd probably go with Sleeper, or just any heavy linear fusion rifle, so you can hit his crit spot. You're gonna be split up in like two different groups. Okay, you're gonna have your guys down in the pool that's going to be standing in the bubble doing damage on Golgoroth. Those guys, I would run, your linear fusions, your rocket launchers, your Gallahorn if you have Gallahorn, Thunderlord, I would use that. Sleeper Sim's going to be really good. If you don't have either one of those, run Lawrence, run a linear fusion rifle. Like I said, they're still kings of damage. And then also, if I were you, I would run a sniper in this, in your energy. If you're, like I said, if you're doing damage, I would run your best sniper. You got high damage sniper. You can run it in a primary or an energy. I would do that. You're not going to be using a primary too much when you're down in the pits. You're just not. But once again, if you are, I would probably run your best scout that you have. Now, if you're up top and you're catching Golgoroth's gaze, Thunderlord might be okay there, because you're going to be around a lot more ads and stuff, so that might not be too bad of an option, but you could go rocket launcher. Gallahorn would probably look really good here, so I'd probably go Galler before I went, well, Thunderlord, you got good ammo, so maybe just stick with Thunderlord if you're running up top. And then with the energy, so with when you're up top, you have to shoot these bulbs that drop into the pool. So guys, I would run probably a pulse rifle if you're doing that part, or a high damage scout. And then subclass also, so warlocks, well, you're going to be doing well. Make sure you got your damage rifts up. One's got a damage rift, one's got a healing rift. You've got multiple warlocks. Hunters, your tether obviously is going to be really good here. You could even go for golden gun with Celestial Nighthawk if you want to. I'd probably stick with tether, just because tether, it increases your damage and your crit, so I would probably go with Night Stalker. And the Titans, I would go with Sunbreaker, or I don't think I'd do. I definitely wouldn't do Thunder Crash, because if you get close, he's just gonna smash you. You can even do Bubble if you want, but I think hammers would probably be pretty good. Titan doesn't have the best super for Golgoroth, but I'd probably say hammers are pretty good. Maybe Bubble, so you could get Weapons of Light, but I'd probably stick to Sunbreaker. Okay, and now the next encounter, we have the Sisters. This one's kind of tough because their crits are kind of really weird to hit. I would definitely probably go with a linear fusion rifle down here. See, it's tough because hopefully you don't get stuck running. If you get stuck running, I guess it doesn't really matter. But I would probably go with a linear. Sleeper is probably going to be really good here, or any legendary linear fusion rifle is going to be really good for this encounter to do some damage on the Sisters. Same thing here. I would probably stick with a Sunshot, or maybe a sniper. If you can hit your shots, maybe a sniper. But sniper's gonna be kind of tough because their crits are really small. I would probably stick with Sunshot here for ad clearing. And then you're basically just going to have your heavy to do damage on them. The Sisters don't have a ton of health, but they move a lot, so they can be kind of tough to hit. So I would probably say, I mean, if you're a good sniper and you're confident in your ability to snipe, then I would probably say go ahead and go for a sniper. If not, then I would probably stick with Sunshot, or good ad clearing weapon here, maybe a pulse or a scout. You can even go scout. And then primary, like I said, once again, pretty open SMG. Scout rifle, hand cannon, basically whatever you have that's your best roll, your highest gear, I would go with that. I don't think I'd run it ever exotic primary for this raid. If you're gonna go exotic, I'd probably go heavy with either Thunderlord or Sleeper. You could use Thunderlord on this counter too, or G-Horn would probably work really good. Gallahorn is just a great all-around exotic in general. It just does a ton of damage, and the Wolfpack rounds are amazing. So subclass for Titan, you guys are pretty open. Maybe Striker to clear a lot of ads, especially, depending on what you're doing, because it's different now. You don't have designated runners, it's random. So you might randomly get picked to run, and if you do, well, then it is what it is. But Sunbreaker's still going to be really good. Bubble's still going to be really good. Striker Titan's still going to be really good. Basically, you can run Titans, I don't really think it matters. You guys can kind of run whatever you want. Warlocks, once again, well, well, it's just too good to not run, guys. And then Hunters. Hunters here, I would probably not run Celestial and Golden Gun just because, like I said, the crit's really weird and they tend to move a lot. I would probably stick with Tether again. Last but not least, guys, is going to be Oryx himself. Now, Oryx is not too bad of a boss to fight. It's just doing the whole thing to get to the ability to damage him. So, while you're running this very last bit of the raid, it's going to be very important that you have good damage on your energy and your heavy, because there's going to be a lot of knights and a lot of ogres that you're going to want to kill very quickly. I would probably go with Galahorn again, or Sleeper for high damage. Thunderlord still is going to be pretty good, but if I were you, I'd probably run Galahorn. That would probably be my go-to to melt those ogres and those knights. Thunderlord's going to be good because it has overload, so that's something else you could look into. I'd probably run Thunderlord before I run Sleeper. Sleeper is better for your damage against orcs, but anyways. I would definitely go that route. So Galahorn and Thunderlord are going to be your two best heavies you're going to go. Guys, in this raid, in most raids, you're going to want your exotics to be heavies. It's just the way it is, because you want to do good boss damage. For your energy, I would run because so when you finally get a chance to do your damage against orcs, this chest is going to open up, and it's a pretty easy, pretty big area to hit. So you could definitely go Lawrence Driver for big damage. If you don't want to use an exotic here, you want to use a linear, that's totally fine too. Running linear fuse rifle, double linears, you might run into some ammo issues, but you'll probably be okay. Like I said, you're mostly going to be doing damage with your heavy, guys. You're not going to be doing much damage with your primary and your energy. You could, a little wild, you could go Izzy Nagi's Burden up here in the primary spot if you're feeling froggy. I wouldn't. I'd stick to probably Galahorn, and then you could run a sniper here, a pulse here, an exotic bow here, a legendary bow here if you want, and then your primary, once again, I'd probably run a scout because you're kind of far away from him when you get a chance to damage him. You're not up real close, so I'd probably run a scout here in the primary. And then your energy's kind of open to either sniper if you want to run sniper. I'd probably go sniper just because, like I said, his crit spot's pretty big. So, and the last encounter, I'd probably go Galahorn, sniper, and then scout. You could also go not Thunder Crash, just regular Striker Titan for ad clear, maybe killing off the ogres and the knights really quickly. You could do that, it's not a bad idea. Or Bubble. Bubble's always going to be a good subclass for Titans in a raid. Hunters, you could definitely go Celestial with, like I said, Celestial Golden Gun for the crit on the Oryx, but I still think Tether's going to be a little better just because it's going to be better for the whole team. For ag clearing and just kind of keeping everybody together. Tether's awesome, guys, for raids and PvE content. Tether's probably one of the best subclasses there is. Warlocks, well, I hate to say it, but well is just, it's just so good. It's probably the best raid subclass. It definitely is the best raid subclass in the game, no doubt. So guys, that's kind of going to be what I would run in the raid for each encounter. That's my opinion, guys. This is my opinion. This is not the Bible. Take it with a grain of salt. This is how I would run the raid, is with those specific weapons. I think that would give you the easiest time to get through it, the most successful way to get through it. But bottom line is, guys, raids are tough. They take some time to get through. They take some practice. Learning the mechanics and everything like that takes time. But definitely having the right weapons is going to help you guys out immensely and in the long run. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you guys later.